بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا استعينوا بالصبر والصلاة إن الله مع الصابرين. ولا تقولوا لمن يقتل في سبيل الله أموات بل أحياء ولكن لا تشعرون. ولنبلونكم بشيء من الخوف والجوع ونقص من الأموال والأنفس والثمرات وبشر الصابرين الذين إذا أصابتهم مصيبة قالوا إنا لله وإنا إليه راجعون. أولئك عليهم صلوات من ربهم ورحمة وأولئك هم المهتدون. صدق الله العلي العظيم.
اللهم صل على محمد.
I will now recite the dua command, inshallah. Salawat ala Muhammad wa Muhammad.
اللهم صل على محمد.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. اللهم إني أسألك برحمتك التي وسعت كل شيء وبقوتك التي قهرت بها كل شيء وخضع لها كل شيء وذل لها كل شيء وبجبروتك التي غلبت بها كل شيء وبعزتك التي لا يقوم لها شيء وبعظمتك التي ملأت كل شيء وبسلطانك الذي على كل شيء وبوجهك الباقي بعد فناء كل شيء وبأسمائك التي ملأت أركان كل شيء وبعلمك الذي أحاط بكل شيء وبنور وجهك الذي أضاء له كل شيء. يا نور يا قدوس يا نور يا قدوس
يا نور يا قدوس
يا أول الأولين ويا آخر الآخرين. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تهتك العصام. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل النقام. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تغير النعام. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تحبس الدعاء. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تنزل البلاء. اللهم اغفر لي الذنوب التي تقطع الرجاء. اللهم اغفر لي كل ذنب أذنبته وكل خطيئة أخطأتها. اللهم إني أتقرب إليك بذكرك وأستشفع بك إلى نفسك وأسألك بجودك وكرمك أن تدنيني من قربك وأن توزعني شكرك وأن تلهمني ذكرك اللهم إني أسألك سؤال خاضع متذلل خاشع أن تسامحني وترحمني وتجعلني بقسمك راضيا قانعا وفي جميع الأحوال متواضعا. اللهم وأسألك سؤال من اشتدت فاقته وأنزل بك عند الشدائد حاجته وعظم فيما عندك رغبته. اللهم عظم سلطانك وعلى مكانك وخفي مكرك وظهر أمرك وغلب قهرك وجرت قدرتك ولا يمكن الفرار من حكومتك. اللهم لا أجد لذنوبي غافرا ولا لقبائحي ساترا ولا لشيء من عملي القبيح بالحسن مبدلا غيرك. لا إله إلا أنت سبحانك وبحمدك ظلمت نفسي
ظلمت نفسي ظلمت نفسي
وتجرأت بجهلي وسكنت إلى قديم ذكرك لي ومنك علي. اللهم مولاي كم من قبيح سترت وكم من فادح من البلاء أقلت وكم من عثار وقيت وكم من مكروه دفعت وكم من ثناء جميل لست أهلا له نشرت. اللهم عظم بلائي وأفرط بي سوء حالي وقسرت بي أعمالي وقعدت بي أغلالي وحبسني عن نفعي بعد أملي وخدعتني الدنيا بغرورها ونفسي بخيانتها. ومثالي يا سيدي فأسألك بعزتك ألا يحجب عنك دعائي سوء عملي وفعالي ولا تفضحني بخفي ما اطلعت عليه من سري ولا تعاجلني بالعقوبة على ما عملته في خلواتي من سوء فعلي وإساءتي ودوام تفريطي وجهالتي وكثرة شهواتي وغفلتي. وكن اللهم بعزتك لي في الأحوال كلها رؤوفا وعلي في جميع الأمور عطوفا. إلهي وربي من لي غيرك أسأله كشف ضري والنظر في أمري. إلهي ومولاي أجريت علي حكما اتبعت فيه هوى نفسي ولم أحترس فيه من تزيين عدوي فغرني بما أهوى وأسعده على ذلك القضاء فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعد حدودك وخالفت بعد أوامرك فلك الحجة علي في جميع ذلك ولا حجة لي فيما جرى علي فيه قضاء. والزمن حكمك وبلاؤك، وقد أتيتك يا إلهي بعد تقصيري وإسرافي على نفسي، معتذرا نادما منكسرا مستقيلا مستغفرا منيبا مقرا مذعنا معترفا، لا أجد مفرا مما كان مني ولا مفزعا أتوجه إليه في أمري غير قبولك عذري وإدخالك إياي في سعة من رحمتك. اللهم فاقبل عذري وارحم شدة ضري وفكني من شدي وثاقي.
يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني، يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني، يا رب ارحم ضعف بدني،
ورقة جلدي ودقة عفوي، يا من بدأ خلقي وذكري وتربيتي وبري وتغذيتي، أبني لابتداء كرمك وسالفي برك بي. يا إلهي وسيدي وربي، أتراك معذبي بنارك بعد توحيدك وبعد ما انطوى عليه قلبي من معرفتك ولهج به لساني من ذكرك واعتقده ضميري من حبك، وبعد صدق اعترافي ودعائي خاضعا لربوبيتك. هيهات أنت أكرم من أن تضيع من ربيت أو تبعد من أدنيت أو تشرد من آويت أو تسلم إلى البلاء من كفيته ورحمته. وليت شعري يا سيدي وإلهي ومولاي أتسلط النار على وجوه خرت لعظمتك ساجدا وعلى ألسن نطقت بتوحيدك صادقا وبشكرك مادحا وعلى قلوب اعترفت بإلهيتك محققا وعلى ضمائر حوت من العلم بك حتى صارت خاشعة وعلى جوارح سعت إلى أوطان تعبدك طائعة وأشارت باستغفارك مذعنا. ما هكذا الظن بك ولا أخبرنا بفضلك عنك.
يا كريم يا رب، يا كريم يا رب، يا كريم يا رب.
وأنت تعلم ضعفي عن قليل من بلاء الدنيا وعقوباتها وما يجري فيها من المكاره على أهلها، على أن ذلك بلاء مكروه قليل مكسور يسير بقاؤه قصير مدته، فكيف احتمال لبلاء الآخرة وجليل وقوع المكاره فيها وهو بلاء تطول مدته ويدوم مقامه ولا يخفف عن أهله لأنه لا يكون إلا عن غضبك وانتقامك وسخطك
وهذا ما لا تقوم له السماوات والأرض. يا سيدي فكيف بي وأنا عبدك الضعيف الذليل الحقير المسكين المستكين. يا إلهي وربي وسيدي ومولاي، لأي الأمور إليك أشكو، ولما منها أضج وأبكي، لأليم العذاب وشدتي، أو لطول البلاء ومدتي. فلئن صيرتني في العقوبات مع أعدائك، وجمعت بيني وبين أهل بلائك، وفرقت بيني وبين أحبائك وأوليائك، فهبني يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي وربي. صبرت على عذابك، فكيف أصبر على فراقك؟ وهبني يا إلهي صبرت على حر نارك، فكيف أصبر عن النظر إلى كرامتك؟ أم كيف أسكن في النار ورجائي عفوك؟ فبعزتك يا سيدي ومولاي أقسم صادقا، لئن تركتني ناطقا لأضجن إليك بين أهلها ضجيج الآمنين، ولأصرخن إليك صراخ المستصرخين، ولأبكين عليك بكاء الفاقدين، ولأنادينك أين كنت يا ولي المؤمنين، يا غاية آمال العارفين،
يا غياث المستغيثين، يا غياث المستغيثين، يا غياث المستغيثين،
ويا حبيب قلوب الصادقين، ويا إله العالمين. أفتراك سبحانك يا إلهي وبحمدك تسمع فيها صوت عبد مسلم سجن فيها بمخالفتك، وذاق طعم عذابها بمعصيته، وحبس بين أطباقها بجرمه وجريرته، وهو يضج إليك ضجيج مؤمل برحمتك، ويناديك بلسان أهل توحيدك، ويتوسل إليك بربوبيتك. يا مولاي فكيف يبقى في العذاب وهو يرجو ما سلف من حلمك ورأفتك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف تؤلمه النار وهو يأمل فضلك ورحمتك؟ أم كيف يحرقه لهيبها وأنت تسمع صوته وترى مكانه؟ أم كيف يشتمل عليه زفيرها وأنت تعلم ضعفه؟ أم كيف يتقلقل بين أطباقها وأنت تعلم صدقا؟ أم كيف تزجره زبانيتها وهو يناديك يا ربا؟ أم كيف يرجو فضلك في عتقه منها فتتركه فيها؟ هيهات، ما ذلك الظن بك، ولا المعروف من فضلك، ولا مشبه لما عاملت به الموحدين من برك وإحسانك. فباليقين أقطع لولا ما حكمت به من تعذيب جاحديك، وقضيت به من إخلاد معانديك، لجعلت النار كلها بردا وسلاما وما كان لأحد فيها مقرا ولا مقاما لكنك تقدست أسماؤك أقسمت أن تملأها من الكافرين من الجنة والناس أجمعين وأن تخلد فيها المعاندين وأنت جل ثناؤك قلت مبتدئا وتطولت بالإنعام متكرما أفمن كان مؤمنا كمن كان فاسقا لا يستوون إلهي وسيدي فأسألك بالقدرة التي قدرتها وبالقضية التي حتمتها وحكمتها وغلبت من عليه أجريتها أن تهب لي في هذه الليلة وفي هذه الساعة كل جرم أجرمته وكل ذنب أذنبت وكل قبيح أسررت وكل جهل عملت كتمته أو أعلنته أخفيته أو أظهرت وكل سيئة أمرت بإثباتها الكرام الكاتبين الذين وكلتهم بحفظ ما يكون مني وجعلتهم شهودا علي مع جوارحي وكنت أنت الرقيب علي من ورائهم والشاهد لما خفي عنهم وبرحمتك أخفيت وبفضلك سترت وأن توفر حظي من كل خير تنزل أو إحسان تفضل أو بر تنشر أو رزق تبسط أو ذنب تغفر أو خطأ تستر
يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب
يا إلهي وسيدي ومولاي ومالك رقي يا من بيده ناصيتي يا عليما بضري ومسكنتي يا خبيرا بفقري وفاقتي
يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب
أسألك بحقك وقدسك وأعظم صفاتك وأسمائك أن تجعل أوقاتي من الليل والنهار بذكرك معمورا وبخدمتك موصولا وأعمالي عندك مقبولا حتى تكون أعمالي وأورادي كلها وردا واحدا وحالي في خدمتك سرمدا يا سيدي يا من عليه معولي يا من إليه شكوت أحوالي
يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب يا ربي يا ربي يا رب
قو على خدمتك جوارحي واشدد على العزيمة جوانحي وهب لي الجد في خشيتك والدوام في الاتصال بخدمتك حتى أسرح إليك في ميادين السابقين وأسرع إليك في المبادرين وأشتاق إلى قربك في المشتاقين وأدنو منك دنو المخلصين وأخافك مخافة الموقنين واجتمع في جوارك مع المؤمنين. اللهم ومن أرادني بسوء فأرد ومن كادني فكيد واجعلني من أحسن عبيدك نصيبا عندك وأقربهم منزلة منك وأخصهم زلفة لديك فإنه لا ينال ذلك إلا بفضلك وجد لي بجودك وعطف علي بمجدك واحفظني برحمتك واجعل لساني بذكرك لهجا وقلبي بحبك متيما ومن علي بحسن إجابتك وأقلني عثرتي واغفر زلتي فإنك قضيت على عبادك بعبادتك وأمرتهم بدعائك وضمنت لهم الإجابة فإليك يا ربي نصبت وجهي وإليك يا ربي مددت يدي فبعزتك استجب لي دعائي وبلغني مناي ولا تقطع من فضلك رجائي واكفني شر الجن والإنس من أعدائي.
يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا يا سريع الرضا
اغفر لمن لا يملك إلا الدعاء فإنك فعال لما تشاء يا من اسمه دواء وذكره شفاء وطاعته غنى ارحم من رأس ماله الرجاء وسلاحه البكاء يا سابغ النعم يا دافع النقام يا نور المستوحشين في الظلام يا عالما لا يعلم صل على محمد وآل محمد وافعل بما أنت أهله وصلى الله على رسوله والأئمة الميامين من آله وسلم تسليما كثيرا.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Jazakallah, Brother Ali. Please recite Allah salawat.
اللهم صل على
Please recite Amma Yuji 5 times for all the sick people who are impacted by the war in Ukraine. And please remember Brother Tawab Nazar, he's battling with cancer. Bismillah.
أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء 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 أما يجيب المضطر إذا دعاه ويكشف السوء
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. Now I invite Brother Shazir Taqi to recite the salam.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
اے لال اب لحد میں کہاں چین پاؤں گی، اے لال اب لحد میں کہاں چین پاؤں گی، پالا ہے پیس پیس کے چکی سنبھالنا، اے کربلا نہ دیکھ میرا گھر اجاڑنا، بیٹے کا خون ماں ہوں کہاں دیکھ پاؤں گی، اے لال اب لحد میں کہاں چین پاؤں گی، ٹکڑوں میں لاش کیسے جواں کی اٹھائے گا، قاسم کی ماں کو کیسے یہ منظر آئے گا، چادر میں سوچ کر تو یہی ساتھ لاؤں گی، اے لال اب لحد میں کہاں چین پاؤں گی، بازو کٹے جو بھائی خود کو سنبھالنا، کیسے تو کر سکے گا سکینہ کا سامنا، زینب کو بیردائی سے کیسے بچاؤں گی، اے لال اب لحد میں کہاں چین پاؤں گی، اے لال آخری جو تیرا امتحان ہو، ہاتھوں میں تیرے ایک جو سی جان ہو، اصغر کو تیرے گود میں اپنی چھپاؤں گی، اے لال اب لحد میں کہاں چین پاؤں گی، زخموں سے چور چور جو میدان میں جائے گا، بیٹے میرا نصیب مجھے کیا دکھائے گا، منظر میں تیری موت کا کیسے بھلاؤں گی، اے لال اب لحد میں کہاں چین پاؤں گی، اے لال اب لحد میں کہاں چین پاؤں گی، پر محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل.
Jazakallah, brother. Now I invite Brother Rizal Rizvi to recite a mercy.
بعد نعرہ سلام.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
آغاز کلام چار مصرع. تھامید لب وہ دامن سلطان اولیاء یعنی حسین ابن علی جان اولیاء وہ صاحب مقام نبی و علی ہوئے وہ فخر انبیاء ہیں وہی شان اولیاء محمد و آل محمد صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
فاتحہ. گھر سے جب بہر سفر سید عالم نکلے گھر سے جب بہر سفر سید عالم نکلے سر جھکائے ہوئے بادیدہ پرنم نکلے خیش و فرزند کمر باندھ کے باہم نکلے رو کے فرمایا کہ اس شہر سے اب ہم نکلے رات سے گریہ زہرا کی صدا آتی ہے دیکھیں قسمت ہمیں کس دشت میں لے جاتی ہے دیکھیں قسمت ہمیں کس دشت میں لے جاتی ہے روح کیا شہنے سوئے قبر شہنشاہ ہے انا بہر تسلیم جھکے متصل باب سلام اذن پڑھ کر جو گئے قبر کے نزدیک امام عرض کی آیا ہے آج آخری رخصت کو غلام یہ مکان ہم سے اب اے شاہ زمن چھٹتا ہے آج حضرت کے نواسے سے وطن چھوٹتا ہے آج حضرت کے نواسے سے وطن چھوٹتا چین سے سب ہیں گھروں میں مجھے ملتا نہیں چین سخت آفت میں ہے اب آپ کا یہ نور اے ٹکڑے دل ہوتا ہے جب رو کے حرم کرتے ہیں ننھے بچوں کو بھلا لے کے کدھر جائے حسین ننھے بچوں کو بھلا لے کے کدھر جائے
حسین
شہر میں چین نہ جنگل میں امان ملتی ہے دیکھیے قبر مسافر کو کہاں ملتی ہے دیکھیے قبر مسافر کو کہاں ملتی اب میرے سر کے لیے تیز ہوئے ہیں خنجر اہل کی شر پہ کمر باندھے ہیں یا خیر بشر آپ نے دی تھی اسی روز کی اماں کو خبر والدہ روئی تھی 2 روز تلک پیٹ اس نواسے کو مگر بھول نہ جانا حضرت ذبح کے وقت مدد کرنے کو آنا حضرت ذبح کے وقت مدد کرنے کو آنا یہ وہ دن ہے کہ پرندے بھی نہیں چھوڑتے گھر مجھ کو درپیش ہے ان روزوں میں آفت کا سفر ہے کہیں قتل کا ساما کہیں لٹ جانے کا ڈر ساتھ ہے بچوں کا اے بادشاہ جن و بشر تنگ جینے سے ہوں پاس اپنے بلا لو نانا اپنی تربت میں نواسے کو چھپا لو نانا اپنی تربت میں نواسے کو چھپا لو نانا یہ بیاں کر کے جو تعویذ سے لپٹے سرور یوں ہلی قبر کے تھرائی زری ہے انور آئی تربت سے یہ آواز حبیب داور تیری غربت کے میں صدقے میرے مظلوم کوئی سمجھانا میری گود کا بالا تجھ کو ہائے آدھا نے مدینے سے نکالا تجھ کو ہائے آدھا نے مدینے سے نکالا تجھ کو اے میرے گیسو والے میرے صابر شبیر میرے بے کس میرے مظلوم مسافر شبیر نہ رہا کوئی تیرا یاور و ناصر شبیر ہائے اے گورے غریباں کے مجاور شبیر تو جہاں جائے گا پیارے وہیں چلتا ہوں میں خاک اڑاتا ہوا تربت سے نکلتا ہوں میں خاک اڑاتا ہوا تربت سے نکلتا ہوں میں سن کے یہ شہ نے کیا آخری رخصت کا سلام نکلے روتے ہوئے جب روضہ انور سے شہ سے اس دم کیا رو رو کے یہ زینب نے کلام قبر پر ماں کی مجھے لے چلو یا شاہ انا لوگ ہمراہ ہے محمل میں کیوں کروں ماں کی تربت سے پھر ایک بار لپٹ کر رو ماں کی تربت سے پھر ایک بار لپٹ کر رو ماں کی تربت پا گئے شاہ بچشم خونبا اتری محمل سے بسد آہو فغاں زینب زا دوڑ کر قبر سے لپٹے جو امام ابرا ہاتھ زہرا کے لحد سے نکل آئے ایک ہاتھ زہرا کے لحد سے نکل آئے آئی آواز نہ رو دل کو قلق ہوتا ہے قبر ہلتی ہے کلیجہ میرا شق ہوتا ہے قبر ہلتی ہے کلیجہ میرا شق ہوتا ہے تھی عجب طرح کی اس وقت قیامت برپا گردن شاہ میں تھے دست جناب زہرا اور بسد درد یہی قبر سے آتی تھی صدا اے میرے بے کس و مظلوم یہ ماں تجھ پہ پھر تڑپ صدقے سے نہ کیوں روح ہماری بیٹا چھوڑتے ہو میری تربت کو میں واری بیٹا چھوڑتے ہو میری تربت کو میں واری بیٹا ہاں بلاؤ میرا عباس دلاور ہے کدھر وہ فرا ہے میرے بچے پا میں صدقے اس پر شکم غیر سے گو ہے پا وہ میرا ہے پسر یہ صدا سن کے برادر کو پکارے سر ابھی رہوار کو آگے نہ بڑھاؤ بھائی یاد فرماتی ہے اماں ادھر آؤ بھائی یاد فرماتی ہے اماں ادھر آؤ بھائی آکے عباس نے سر رکھ دیا پانی نے مزہ آئی زہرا کی صدا میں تیری غربت کے اپنے پیاروں کے برابر میں تجھے کرتی ہوں پیار دھیان بھائی کی حفاظت کا رہے اے دل کوئی غربت میں اسے مار نہ ڈالے بیٹا میرا شبیر ہے اب تیرے حوالے کوئی غربت میں اسے مار نہ ڈالے بیٹا میرا شبیر ہے اب تیرے حوالے بیٹا میرا شبیر ہے اب تیرے حوالے بیٹا گھر سے جب بہرے سفر محمد و آل محمد صلوات
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد
celebrating the birth of Imam Hussain alayhi salam, Imam Zain al-Abidin alayhi salam, Hazrat Abbas, and Bibi Zainab salamullah alayhi. And for next Thursday, March 10th, we will have obviously our Dua Kamal program, but in addition to that, we will have a Quran quiz on site here and online. The topic is Surah Rad. You will be tested on the translation of the surah. Please refer to the WhatsApp group to register your families, and the deadline is March 6th. And lastly, the ICZ Youth is hosting an event at Boomers in Livermore. This is for ages 14 plus. And the event is scheduled for March 12th, 2022. You need to, if you need to make cash payments, please contact Brother Shadul Taqis right there. And Venmo can be paid by to ICZ at ICZ Youth. Last 4 digits, the phone number is 3367. If you make early bird reservation, the fee is $15. That is up till March 6th. And after that, late reservation is up till March 8th, which is $18. So register your youth and have them come out and enjoy this program. Again, it's for ages 14 plus. There's a Lexus outside in the parking lot. All the doors are open. I don't know whose it is, but please go take a look at yours. Please recite a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Now I invite Hujjatul Islam's Hadi Yassin to address the community. Please recite a loud salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. Please recite salawat 3 times.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد. اللهم
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا حبيب قلوبنا وطبيب نفوسنا وشفيع ذنوبنا وأبي القاسم المصطفى محمد.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل
وعلى
محمد.
آله الطيبين الطاهرين وطاعة الدائمين الأعداء أجمعين من الآن إلى يوم الدين. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقهوا قولي. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار، ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني بزيارتكم وتقبل إن شاء الله. السلام على الحسين
وعلى علي بن الحسين
وعلى
على أصحاب الحسين.
صلوات.
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for another opportunity that we are together on Thursday. May Allah inshallah send peace and blessings upon the soul of all Mu'mineen inshallah. Community. From all those parents that we are here because of the muhabbat that they gave us and the seed of muhabbat of Islam and faith in our hearts. May Allah inshallah bless all of you guys and all who are in the path of hidayat, in the path of guidance. May Allah help us and support us, give us opportunity and tawfiq to always stay in this path, confirm and strong, and follow it ila yawm al-qiyamah until the day of judgment, inshallah. As you know, we're following the topic of the history of Islam, and we reviewed the history of Islam from the beginning, what happened, different centuries of Islam, different aspects of Islam. We mentioned that. We're around the 7th of century, after 7th of Hijrah, after the Hijrah and the immigration of Rasulullah. We are analyzing the history for the sake of understanding what happened in the past, analyzing the past, learning from the past, and making sure that it's not just reviewing the history, is understanding who we're following, what happened, and where we are today. Because we are following a religion that, this religion is at the time of Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam established that, and of course there were some events, some history, something happened, and today we see different people, they have different opinions, different understanding of Islam. So unbiasedly we have to go through the history and analyze it, because history cannot be biased. Although historian can be biased, history shouldn't be biased. History should be today, Thursday, March 3rd, ICZ had an event, right? The historian cannot say it was a very good event or a very bad event. It will be the opinion of that person. Maybe other people have different opinion, right? The historian should just narrate. And when we narrate the history, when we review the history, by the way, the majority of the history of Islam comes from the source of Ahlul Bayt, by the way. Specifically the beginning of Ahlul Sunnah. It's specifically the beginning of Islam, right? Tariq al-Tabari, Tariq al-Bayhaqi, so on and so forth, different tariq and history books that we have. So it is important for us to analyze what happened and today where we're standing regarding that. Because of the scenario and situation in the 15th of, I'm having it in parentheses, and then we'll go back to our topic because of the majlis that we have tonight. A very short part of what happened to Imam Hussain and why he left Medina, right? Which is part of the history, but analytical history, not just narrative history. 15th of Rajab, Muawiyah, he was gone, passed away. So towards the end of month of Rajab, Yazid sent a letter to the governor of Medina, Walid ibn Utbah, and he asked him, you get the bay'ah and allegiance from 3 people, Hussain, Ibn Zubayr, Ibn Umar, the son of Umar, Abdullah ibn Umar, Abdullah ibn Zubayr, Hussain ibn Ali. If they gave bay'ah with force, fine. If not, you kill all of them. You should get the bay'ah. Despite what his father told him, do not mess around with these people. They're the heads of the tribe, and everybody knows you should deal with them very politically, democratically. This guy is drunk. This guy is always, Yazid into different status of mind. So he sent a letter, and the reason I'm narrating to see Imam Hussain from the beginning to the end, nothing changed, right? Is in the 60th Hijr. When did he become Shaheed? 10th of Muharram of what year?
61.
61, right? So a year before. So the guy, Al-Walid, he summoned Imam Hussain to come, and I'm going to talk. So he asked Yazid, Muawiyah is like this, and then, or maybe he didn't say it, and says you have to give bay'ah to Yazid. And of course, Imam Hussain, you know, look who is Yazid, who is his personality, and everybody know about him and who he is and what he does and the whole scenario about him. Of course, Imam Hussain said, you know, no, look at who is Yazid, who's personality of Yazid. But Imam didn't directly reject it. Everything says, we'll talk about it later. Okay. So the guy let Imam Hussain and Abdullah ibn Zubayr leave the palace or whatever he had. Who is next to him? Marwan Hakam. We talked about him before, remember? Marwan Hakam, one of the worst enemies of Ahlul Bayt, the one who Rasulullah kicked him and his father out of Medina and exiled them. He was there. He told him, you let them go, you're not going to find them. You should have kept them, killed them, or get the bay'ah. He said, Walid says, both of them are not good. He said, you wanted me to kill Hussein, son of Rasulullah? Wallahi, the one who does that would not see salvation at the day of judgment, and the amal of this person is all gone, the one who will be against Hussein. The enemies know what's going on about him, right? That's the saddest part of the history. They knew who his mom said. Then Marwan says, the answer of Marwan is even worse. He said, he smirked and smiled. He said, well, if that's the reason, you're right, actually. He even know himself who his mom is. The reason I'm saying it, I want you to get to a conclusion. I'm not just reading the history so we feel bad about Imam Hussain or feel good. We're saying what happened in the history. What happened to these people that they knew what is haqq? They knew if you go against Hussein, what's going to happen to you, dunya and akhirah. They did it. Why? And I go a little bit further, and I want literally you guys, inshallah, to share your opinion here. As you know, we always make it neutral. How come they know this? They know there's no akhirah, but they go against Muslims. The same way that their grandfather, Abu Sufyan, said, I know Muhammad is, that's what we're reviewing, right? I know he is the prophet, but I'm not going to accept it, because if I accept it, the horse of Bani Hashim would be ahead of our horse in this race. Look at the analogy. Right? It's very, very common with what we're going to review today, the history of Islam. Imam Hussain left. The same night, Abdullah ibn Zubayr. We'll talk about it, inshallah, in the history of Ahlul Bayt. Abdullah ibn Zubayr is the one who killed Mukhtar. Right? The one who ordered to kill Mukhtar. He left Medina from a deviated, path, very quietly at night, among the mountains with his only brother, with one of the brothers, Ja'far. He left and he went towards what? Mecca. He left. They went after him, they couldn't find him. Next day, the same day, like less than 24 hours, Marwan saw Imam Hussain outside the street. Says, you have to give bay'ah to this. Imam Hussain it's an interesting, discussion that happened within the street. Imam Hussain said, "Mithli la yubayya mithli Yazid." This is a historical statement. Someone like me would not give bay'ah and allegiance, would not shake the hand of who? Someone like Yazid. This is until the end of the history of human beings. The uprising of Imam Hussain does not belong to 60 or 61st of Hijri in the 10th of Muharram. Belongs to the entire tariq and history of human beings. Someone like me, today you can say, someone like me with this mentality, with this aqidah, with this belief system would not bend down in front of someone like, he gave us the what? The doctrine. It's like, this is the rule. This is the template. You put the ashkhas and people in this template. Someone like him, someone like me. Those who follow me would never ever follow someone like him. You have to understand. And then he tried to, what we say, threaten Imam Hussain. Said, Imam says, you will going to kill me? You? Wait. Imam says, the Khilafat was, Rasulullah said, Khilafat is haram for Bani Umayyah. Tulaqa. You know what is the Tulaqa? Tulaqa are those who became free by Rasulullah. When? In the Fath of Mecca. When Rasulullah, Muslims, they got the victory of Mecca. Rasulullah says, okay, I'm not going to kill you. You are Tulaqa. You are what? Free to go. And they were always humiliated by this. You should not be the Khalifa of Rasulullah. You are going to go against me and kill me. Look at the shuja'ah and the bravery of Imam Hussain. And then, of course, the same night, Imam Hussain left Medina with around 82 or 3 of his family members. Almost everyone followed Imam Hussain and left from Bani Hashim, except Muhammad Hanafiya. He was sick or something, he couldn't follow Imam Hussain. Almost everybody with family, and 82 people, 3 people, they left Imam Hussain the same night. From the main road, Ibn Zubayr, he left from the mountains or somewhere, deviated path. Imam Hussain from the main path. Muslim ibn Aqil, he asked Imam Hussain, he said, wasn't it better to go from the way so they can follow? They might follow us the way that Islam said, no. I'm going to, wallahi, stay here in the main path until, so Imam Hussain didn't run away from Medina. The one who runs away is Abdullah ibn Zubayr from the path, some other path, shortcut somehow. Imam says, I would not leave this main path until I see the houses of Mecca. Shuja'ah, braver. He didn't run away from it, right? But when Imam was, before he leaves, he went to Masjid al-Haram and he gave the Ida. Farewell, actually, saying salam to Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
For the last time. These are all the codes that Imam, he gave to everyone. And when he was living, he recited this ayah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. فَخَرَجَ مِنْهَا خَائِفًا يَتَرَقَّبْ قَالَ رَبِّ نَجِّنِي مِنَ الْقَوْمِ الظَّالِمِينَ. And left Musa from the, when he left them while he was, in a very difficult status, the fear against, they're going to kill him and so on and so forth. And he asked Allah, save me from this qawm al-zalimin. They're against me. And of course, Imam went to why they even didn't come after Imam Hussain. They sent after Ibn Zubayr, but not Imam Hussain, because the status of Imam Hussain. Because they knew who was Imam Hussain. They can't go against Imam Hussain. And when Imam reached Mecca, the people of Mecca came and loved Imam Hussain, all around Imam Hussain. So, and Ibn Umar was very upset that Imam Hussain is in Mecca because he wanted people to give bay'ah to him. So my question to you, let's start a discussion before we move forward with the second part of the inshallah, history of Islam. If people, they knew who is Imam Hussain, if they all knew about Imam Hussain, they told each other about Imam Hussain, what stopped them from following his personality? And what caused them to stand in front of this person? Did you say fear? Sorry. Greed and fear of dunya. Fear of death. Good. What else?
Positions they were promised.
Position that they were promised. Good. What else? Ahsan. Weakness in belief system. Right. What else? Hubb dunya. Exactly. Hubb dunya. What else? Ahsan. Their stomachs are full of haram. Beautiful. MashaAllah. What else? Many of them, they wanted, but for some reason they didn't follow because of what? The friendships, the companies that they had next to them that encouraged them. All these reasons, beautifully you mentioned, are the reasons that are not only belong to that time, to this time as well. Anytime, any moment, right? That's why Imam Sadiq ﷺ said,
اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد.
حب الدنيا رأس كل هدية. This love of dunya is the beginning and the origin of any issue that you can find. Right now, what's happening with Ukraine and Russia and Syria? What is it? Is it hubba akhirat? Is it for the sake of humanity? Whatever is right and wrong. Right? Just think about it. Hubb of dunya, right? Hubb of dunya, the love of dunya, the fear of losing the possessions, all this part that you mentioned, the effect of haram. This haram is not only in the stomach, by the way. The haram can be in the amal. Someone who is used to doing haram, someone who is just like careless about what is right, what is wrong. It would affect, it will become a hijab. وَعَلَى قُلُوبِهِمْ غِشَاوَةٌ, Quran says. There will be a curtain around this heart and this soul that is going to reflect the nur. Look at the mirror. You have a beautiful mirror, it reflects everything, right? But if there is rust, if there is dirt and ghubar around it, what's going to happen? It's not going to reflect anything. That beautiful crystal clear, mirror. So that's what happened to that people, to those people. And despite they knew what Imam Hussain, they left it. Despite they knew what Rasulullah said and he recommended for after himself, hubb of dunya and position and riyasah, hubb of riyasah, right? So let's go follow this inshallah. We mentioned that at the time that after Hudaybiyah, the pact of Hudaybiyah between Rasulullah, Muslims and Quraysh, for 10 years, they left any war, any attack, anything. As Muslims got stronger, became stronger, and Rasulullah started spreading the message of Islam to other people, to other regions, to other kings as well. We talked about this before, he started sending letters to kings of different countries, right? And I want you to pay attention when I talk and narrate these things. If there's any question, I want you to be paying very detailed attention and find questions. If there's any questions, raise your hand, we can talk about it. Why is it this way? Why was it that way? Or if you have a point, see that's a very special, important point, you figure it out, share with others as well. So he sent letters, let's say Muslims are less than 2,000, we mentioned, right? He sent letters to the kings of the empire of Persia, the empire of Rome, Romans, right? To Egypt, to Habasha, Ethiopia, to other around 6 or 7 countries. These big names, each of them had thousands and thousands of soldiers and army and everything, right? He's sending letters and very civilized. Like at that time, Arabs were very uncivilized, right? We're talking about the civilized countries such as Rome, such as Iran, at that time they were like having an empire, right? Rasulullah sent the letter to them. We mentioned that the Caesar, he accepted, he accepted Rasulullah is the Prophet of Allah. Remember, we talked about it. What did he say? Do you remember?
I'm willing to accept, but I'm scared of my position and people will kill me.
That's very similar, right, to what we just talked about at the time of Muhammad. He said, I know he's the Prophet, or what I hear and research that he did is like, I know that, but you know what? He even went further and he talked to people about it. Once he realized that people are going to go against him, he was afraid of his life, and he said, okay, I just wanted to test you guys. So let's come to ourselves. How far you go with staying with haqq and truth? To what extent? Would you follow and defend haqq even if it's against you? Honestly, I would just want you to think about it right now. Would you hide the truth? Would you analyze it? That's okay. All right, so no, that's fine. Right. Would we do it or not? And we usually justify. To what extent we stay with haqq? We're like waiting for Imam of Us to come, right? Please, Ya Allah, Ajal Allah. Okay. So Imam comes tomorrow. Am I ready? Do you think it's about him coming or it's about us being ready? He is there. Eleventh of our Imam Rasul, they were among the society. It's not about being there or not being there. They were among the society. What happened to them? How did people take advantage of their presence? Are we ready for that? Yes, we're praying for the zuhur. Let's pray for our self as well to be ready for that. Right? Learning from this, from the history. This guy, how come we see that? Let's move forward. This is important because you get more documents to prove this point, how dunya and what dunya will do. Same letter was sent, different letter was sent to who? To Khosrow Parviz. He was the king of Persia, Empire of Persia at that time, right? The emperor. So, and then what did he do? As soon as he heard that Rasul says from Muhammad to the king of Iran, he ordered the letter with Rasul. So he put his name first and then I'm the king of so and so. You put your name. He didn't even read the rest of the letter. Same guy. Now look at the region. Allah's plan. And Rasulullah promised, this, he was very disrespectful. His kingdom is not going to last that long. And we talked about it. Soon after that, his own son, Shiriyah, he killed him. His own son killed Rasulullah. So there are other letters, and we'll talk about it, very important. One letter was sent to Egypt, country of pharaohs, right? Well, at that time, they were not very strong in terms of Rasulullah. They lost the power and everything. They were under the power of Rome, Egypt at that time. But they still had a king and so on. So Rasulullah sent a letter to the king of Mesr, Egypt, and he invited him to Islam. It's interesting to see how similar it is. First and foremost, we talk about it. How come Rasulullah sent letters to these people? Any of them, we talk about some of them, if they were getting angry, they could attack Islam within a second, remove everything, right? That's what we wanted to do. But it shows that the mission of Rasulullah is a global mission from the beginning. He's not afraid of anyone. He's just looking for the order that he received from Allah. No one and nothing matters to Rasulullah except Allah. And he's not afraid of anything. Politically, we might say this is not, well, maybe that's not the right decision. Look at that. They might become angry and attack and so on and so forth. But look at how much he trusted Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So to the king of Egypt, Rasulullah sent a letter. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. From Muhammad, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. The son of Abdullah, to the king of Qibtian and the Mesr. Peace and blessings upon the followers of guidance and haqq. I will invite you to Islam. Convert to Islam, accept Islam so you'll be saved. Allah will give you two benefits. One because of yourself and one because of the population that will become Muslims because of you. And if not, you have two sins, yourself and them. Sometimes we're in charge of other people as well. Sometimes it's not just us. Let me give you a good example. If someone like me in this club, if he makes a mistake, it's not just his own mistake. People would not just see him. What would they see? So the sin is not just one sin. Hadith is saying, إذا فسد العالم, not mean عالم. فسد العالم. If the scholar will become corrupt, fasid, the alam, the world. Why? Because people see the responsibility. Take that to different level and scales. If a father, if a grandfather, inshallah, all of you guys either are or will be grandfathers, right? Some of you guys, your ages should be grandfather, inshallah. But the sin, the issue of that person, yes, you yelled at your family today, at your wife today. Yes, you didn't control yourself. You said something to your husband today, last year, tomorrow. Last year, inshallah, a long time. But how did that affect it? What did Rasulullah say? You have two gunah. One, because of you didn't become Muslim. Second, the entire Egypt. Among your friends, they know you're Muslim, right? They know you're Muslim, you converted to Islam, so on and so forth. How are you behaving? When they invite you to something, in the United States, you have to be civil. Well, I love you guys so much, but I can't. Well, I remember from school, I was studying here, so it's like, let's go to what's that? It was like a field trip, something, or I don't remember. It was like a special from the whole school, university. They took to a restaurant. It was a Middle Eastern restaurant, so on and so forth. Although I didn't trust that, so on. But it was a wine bottle. Like everybody's sitting, we have no friends. It's like, okay, so let's take that. I'm not gonna sit down. I said, there. What? What is it? What's the point? Like, that's the point. I explained it. 20-something-year-old. I don't care. I think about me, and everybody loved me. None of them, I think, they came out. Oh my God! So you're like this? Oh, I'm not gonna be friends with you. Fear of losing something, fear of missing, right? Fear of missing out something. What if I say something happened? That means at the moment. What if I do it? If I say this to my boss, to my supervisor, and they become upset? What if Rasulullah said, what if I send this letter to the king of so and so and they come attack me? Did he say it? What if I say something like this? I have to go pray, my boss, this is the time I have to pray. And it's like, what are you? What if? That means at the moment I might see them more important and bigger than. No. What is right is right. I said that before. I was one of the brothers too. He's a speaker as well. We were together, going somewhere. I think it was a restaurant, and someone came out. Another restaurant was like grocery shop. I don't remember grocery store. So he came out. Someone who was American, non-Muslim probably. He had a bottle of wine, and my friend's like, when we were coming in, he's like, by the way, that's not good for you. We went inside. That's it. To that level, nahyan al-munkar, forbid the evil. To that level, that's it. By the way, it's not good for you. I love that. I love that to this extent you are, and then the guy can either know or can go research. Yes. Forget about Islamically, religiously. Yeah, this is not good for me. Oxford University 3-4 years ago, published this research that no matter what amount of alcohol is not good for your system. That's it. What? In the history of the mu'mineen and believers, they were supposed to be afraid of something, then me and you wouldn't be sitting today here. If people, our ancestors in Pakistan, Afghanistan, Iran, so and so, different part of the country and world, if they were supposed to be afraid of the kings that somehow oppressed them at that time, how many ran from Pakistan to Iran, from Iran to India, from India, right? Because of the oppression of the kings at that time. How many from India, from the event to Nishabur, running away? They wanted to save their Imam to run away. Otherwise, they could say, where you guys so office, right? So the risalat and the mission is on our shoulder today. It's not all about how much is the balance of my account today. Anyhow, so he sent the letter. The guy said he did some research, the king of Misr in Egypt. He sent the letter. I mean, he, look at this, and he asked a question from the messenger of Rasulullah, who was giving him the letter. He said, well, if Muhammad is the king, is the prophet, why he should have a miracle? Why his own people from Mecca, they kicked him out and he couldn't ask God to punish them? Azab. What's your answer? He's a king. His God should support him. Look at the question. If he's a prophet, sorry. If he's a prophet, his God should support him. Why did they kick him out of Mecca and he couldn't do anything and his God didn't support him? Why did he have to go to Medina, living over there, some other people accept? Bismillah.
He didn't want to impose Islam on people.
Well, his question is not why, no, his question is that why Allah didn't support him. Why he didn't ask for azab to those people to prove the prophet.
As per Quran, it's the duty of the prophet to just convey and don't worry about if they are following you or not. So prophet's duty is to convey only.
Imagine you're standing in front of the king of Egypt and you're saying this, he would accept it?
Because he was merciful. He didn't want the people that he lived with.
Oh yeah, you can justify it that way. Give me a reason. He's not Muslim. He doesn't believe in these things. He doesn't believe in Quran. He's Christian. Give him an answer that he can understand. You see, sometimes we, from our perspective, the answer somehow that I understand what you're saying.
So he's Christian.
He was Christian.
So then Prophet Jesus didn't ask for adab for the.
Hassan, salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad.
The Safir of Rasulullah says, well, Jesus, he was, the Bani Israel were trying to kill him. He didn't ask for azab. He didn't ask for azab, right? The guy was just speechless. He said, Hakim, a wise person, came from a wise person. I accept that. That's true what you said. Right? When we're talking to people, if they have a question outside someone, whatever, if you have family members, they're not following, so on and so forth, don't try to necessarily go from your own perspective. Try to see what is their understanding, where they get hurt from, and try to go approach them. When I talk to people, for counseling, they come to me and talk to them. One of the things I do a lot is that as soon as I find a point that is a point of interest, I see, for example, some of the clients are businessmen. I talk to them with business and money and guide them with that. Sometimes is into education. A few days ago, I had someone who was, he was a mathematician. She talked to me about the Bayesian statistic. Have you heard about it? How many of you? Yeah, Bayesian statistic. First time I heard it, my number. So she explained it to me. I tried to talk with that concept to her. She totally got it, understood, right? If you want to talk to people, Quran says. Actually, this is what Rasulullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said.
Allahumma salli ala
Very
Muhammadin
interesting.
wa ali.
In the letter he sent as well. Ya Ahl al-Kitab, قل تعالوا إلى كلمة سواء بيننا وبينكم. When you want to talk to Ahl al-Kitab, say, let's come and sit down, talk about something that is common word. We do all accept. If there's a conflict in the family, don't try to focus on disagreements. First, focus on common words and agreements. All right, so let's sit down, family members, husband and wife, I don't know, parents and children, siblings. Okay, let's sit down. What are we having in common? Okay, so this, good, everything's fine. All right, so whatever the disagreement, let's focus. Anyhow, so he talked to Rasulullah and everything went forward. And he talked to the guy, to the messenger of Rasulullah. And he talked more and more and he got accepted. He said, yes, he is. And I know that, he's the prophet, is the prophet. Look at this, what he says. But I know Muhammad is the prophet. But if I become mu'min to him and I believe in him, the people of Egypt would not follow me. I hope, inshallah, one day the power of Islam will come to this region so people would understand the benefit of Islam. What was he? He did not accept it while he found it because of what? Indeed, fear of his position, right? His position. And people go in. What happened to Jews? The Jewish people left. They knew they were waiting for Rasulullah. They reported. They were searching for the last prophet. When he came, they rejected him. Why? Money, where the money is going to come. The position is going to come. Why those who didn't have money, wealth, and servant and all these things, they were those first that they repented to Islam and accepted Islam. What do you think is the reason? Sand. There's nothing to pull them down. Sometimes al-mal wal-banun, Quran says, al-mal wal-banun fitna. Your children, your wealth will become the place of test and fitna for yourself. To pull you down. You want to do something, you remember, oh my God, I have all this attachment and tied to this and that. Let me not. Anyhow, so he sent a letter to Rasulullah with some gifts. I know you're so and so, you know, I didn't expect that comes from that area, but I accepted so and so. Anyhow, one more letter I said was sent to Habasha, where the place that in Africa that Muslims ran away from Quraysh, immigrated to. So the king were a very just king, very, very, very respected, and he took care of Muslims. We talked about it, remember that time, took care of Muslims who immigrated very beautifully. And the letter that Rasulullah sent to him is very soft and kind and nice, different than others, because he's already tested like how he was and how nice and kind he was. So Rasulullah invited him to Islam, and right away, he started crying. Najashi is the king of them. Right away, look at that. When the heart is there, when the person is ready to accept, nothing can stop them. May Allah inshallah bless the convert brothers and sisters. Sometimes they go against the whole world that they would belong to and accept something. SubhanAllah, it's difficult. It's difficult. You leave the entire world that you grew up with behind and you accept the path. And you're not 100% something, I'm sure. You just heard about it, right? You, based on your research, so on and so forth, you accept, you move forward. There should be a power from somewhere else to attract. Otherwise, you might have astrologists, physicians, scientists, physicists, that they go to the detail of the amazing rules of the world, see the azamat and qudrat and power of Allah, and not accepting it. So Najashi said, I definitely accept. He is the prophet. I accept him as a prophet. And although the society is not ready, I have to make the society to be ready, but I accept Islam. And I agree with the, I bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is the prophet of Allah. And very amazing letter he sent to Rasulullah with his son, actually. He sent his son to Rasulullah as well. And anyhow, and he accepted Islam. And then later on, he sent 30 of the priests, missionaries to go to Medina, see who is Rasulullah, what Rasulullah is doing. He's not a king, he's not living like a king. And they went there, they visited, they asked the questions, so on and so forth. And so that was a very important point. So among all these people, all these king, and to some of the letters to other regions that we don't have to talk about it, among all this, almost all of them, they accepted Rasulullah individually, except the Khosrow Pahlavis didn't accept. Everyone else accepted. Someone like Najashi, he definitely became Muslim. Some others, they accepted the haqq, but for some reasons they didn't. Right? So look, that mission that Rasulullah started, and he invited. And then imagine, among the other countries and others, they were talking about Islam. In the palace of so and so, in the palace of the Caesar, if you remember, we talked about it, they were talking about Rasulullah in front of Abu Sufyan. Remember last week we said it? The word of Muslim and Islam were around. Now everybody knows there is Islam, there's Muslims, right? And they started talking. And Rasulullah showed at that time that this mission Islam is actually the, global mission. That's why, alhamdulillah, today Islam is the fastest growing religion. Learning from this, inshallah, what we learn from Imam Hussain is that gives us this understanding that what we need to do as Imam Hussain is stood for haqq, stood for the truth. Our responsibility is to find the truth and stay with the truth. Sometimes we have to sacrifice for the truth. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He sacrificed the best of asset that He had to His Ahlul Bayt. The asset of Allah is not this world or anything. The best of insan, the best of human, Imam Hussain, Ali Akbar, Abu al-Fadl Abbas. These are the best of human beings at the time. Allah is ready to sacrifice them for haqq and truth. And we have to learn from this. Imam Hussain is ready to give the best of his family and companion and ashab and his soldiers for the sake of this truth, for the sake of this Islam, this Quran that we have around us. Now it's our responsibility. How, in what way we want to support, inshallah, this truth. 28th of Rajab, Imam Hussain, he left Medina towards Mecca. A trip that started, a trip that there's no end to this trip. There's no return, actually, in this trip. That's why in the middle of this path towards Karbala, after the Imam is reciting, Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un, we're going, and the angel of death is following us as well. It's good to commemorate, to see where this beautiful journey started from the path of haqq and hidayah's perspective. Hussain, alayhi salatu wassalam, he sacrificed his 6-month-old baby for the sake of this tariq, for the sake of this Islam. He gave his son Ali Akbar, أشبه الناس خلقا وخلقا ومنطقا, because of this Islam. The one who was the closest, the most similar to Rasulullah by how he was looking and his akhlaq, everything, the way he was talking. For the sake of this Quran, for the sake of this Islam we have. Let's promise Rasulullah, let's promise Imam Hussain, you help us, you pray for us. We promise that by the grace of Allah and power that He gives us, inshallah, we stay with this truth and haqq. We defend the truth and haqq, no matter what, even if it's against us, inshallah. اللهم صل على محمد وآل محمد وعجل فرجهم والآن أعداءهم أجمعين. السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله وعلى الأرواح التي حلت بفنائك. عليك مني سلام الله أبدا ما بقيت وبقي الليل والنهار ولا جعله الله آخر العهد مني لزيارتكم. Let's go to بين الحرمين and say this salam together. السلام على الحسين وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين وعلى. One more time, see Hussain in Karbala holding his son Ali Asghar in his hand, Sakina Ruqayya running away from the enemies and saying salam. Once again, look at Ali Akbar on the ground, look at Wasim and Muhammad and On on the ground and say this salam. Assalamu ala al-Hussain وعلى علي بن الحسين وعلى أولاد الحسين
وعلى
أصحاب الحسين. اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد في دعاء إن شاء الله. اللهم عجل لوليك الفرج بحق الحسين. Hasten the ظهور of his son Imam Mahdi. Let us and our generation be among the true followers of our Imam. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, give us tawfiq and opportunity to do the best of ibadah in the month of Rajab and Sha'ban. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, Ya Rahim, help us, our generation, ila yawm al-qiyamah, to have the muhabbat of Quran and Ahlul Bayt. Ya Allah, Ya Rahman, those who have requests and hajat, give them khair hajat. Those who are sick, cure them, and those who passed away, send the tawab and reward to their soul. Mu'tamah Hussain.
Ya Hussain,
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 Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, Ya Hussain, تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا. تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا. آباد کریں گے ہم, آباد کریں گے ہم, اب کرب بلا نانا. تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا. تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا. تیرا دین ہے مشکل میں کیسے رہوں گھر میں. تیرا دین ہے مشکل میں کیسے رہوں گھر میں. طفلی میں کوئی وعدہ, طفلی میں کوئی وعدہ تھا تجھ سے کیا نانا. تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا. تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا. روزے پہ تیرے آگے ہم شمع جلاتے تھے. روزے پہ تیرے آگے ہم شمع جلاتے تھے. اب کون مجاور ہے, اب کون مجاور ہے صغرا کے سوا نانا. تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا. تیرے شہر آتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا. اس طرح پرندے بھی مسکن سے نہیں جاتے. اس طرح پرندے بھی مسکن سے نہیں جاتے. غربت میں مجھے جیسے, غربت میں مجھے جیسے اب جانا پڑا نانا. تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا. تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا. بچے ہیں بہت چھوٹے, گرمی کا زمانہ ہے. بچے ہیں بہت چھوٹے, گرمی کا زمانہ ہے. پہنچائے گا منزل پر, پہنچائے گا منزل پر اب ہم کو خدا نانا. تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا. تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو
نانا زینب تیرے روزے پر بے پردہ نہیں آئی زینب تیرے روزے پر بے پردہ نہیں آئی اب دیکھے گی سب دنیا اب دیکھے گی سب دنیا سر اس کا کھلا نانا تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا اماں کی لہد چھوٹی روزہ بھی تیرا چھوٹا اماں کی لہد چھوٹی روزہ بھی تیرا چھوٹا اس وقت کلیجے پر اس وقت کلیجے پر خنجر سا چلا نانا تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا آباد کریں گے ہم آباد کریں گے ہم اب کرب بلا نانا تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا تیرے شہر سے جاتے ہیں دے ہم کو دعا نانا یا حسین یا حسین یا حسین اللہم صلی علی محمد
السلام عليك يا وارث آدم صفوة الله السلام عليك يا وارث نوح نبي الله السلام عليك يا وارث إبراهيم خليل الله السلام عليك يا وارث موسى كليم الله السلام عليك يا وارث عيسى روح الله السلام عليك يا وارث محمد حبيب الله السلام عليك يا وارث أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام السلام عليك يا ابن محمد المصطفى السلام عليك يا ابن علي المرتضى السلام عليك يا ابن فاطمة الزهراء السلام عليك يا ابن خديجة الكبرى السلام عليك يا ثار الله وابن ثاره والوتر الموتور أشهد أنك قد أقمت الصلاة وآتيت الزكاة وأمرت بالمعروف ونهيت عن المنكر ودعت الله ورسوله حتى أتاك اليقين ولعن الله أمة قتلتك ولعن الله أمة ظلمتك ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به يا مولاي يا أبا عبد الله أشهد أنك كنت نورا في الأصلاب الشامخة والأرحام المطهرة لم تنجسك الجاهلية بأنجاسها ولم تلبسك من متلهمات ثيابها وأشهد أنك من دعائم الدين وأركان المؤمنين وأشهد أنك الإمام البر التقي الرضي الزكي الهادي المهدي وأشهد أن الأئمة من ولدك كلمة التقوى وأعلام الهدى والعروة الوثقى والحجة على أهل الدنيا وأشهد الله وملائكته وأنبياءه ورسله أني بكم مؤمن وبإيابكم موقن بشرائع ديني وخواتيم عملي وقلبي لقلبكم سلم وأمري لأمركم متبع صلوات الله عليكم وعلى أرواحكم وعلى أجسادكم وعلى أجسامكم وعلى شاهدكم وعلى غائبكم وعلى ظاهركم وعلى باطنكم. زيارة علي أكبر عليه السلام. السلام عليك يا ابن رسول الله السلام عليك يا ابن نبي الله السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين السلام عليك يا ابن الحسين الشهيد السلام عليك أيها الشهيد السلام عليك أيها المظلوم وابن المظلوم لعن الله أمة قتلت، ولعن الله أمة ظلمت، ولعن الله أمة سمعت بذلك فرضيت به. ذات أبو الفضل عباس. السلام عليك يا ابن أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليك أيها العبد الصالح المطيع لله ولرسوله، أشهد أنك قد جاهدت ونصحت وصبرت حتى أتاك اليقين. لعن الله الظالمين لكم من الأولين والآخرين وألحقهم بدرك الجحيم. السلام عليكم يا أولياء الله وأحباءه، السلام عليكم يا أصفياء الله وأوداءه، السلام عليكم يا أنصار دين الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار رسول الله، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أمير المؤمنين، السلام عليكم يا أنصار فاطمة سيدة النساء العالمين، السلام عليكم يا أنصار أبي محمد الحسن بن علي بن الولي الناصح، السلام عليك يا أنصار أبي عبد الله، بأبي أنتم وأمي طبتم وطابت الأرض التي فيها دفنتم وفزتم فوزا عظيما، فيا ليتني كنت معكم فأفوز معكم. السلام عليك يا رسول الله، السلام عليك يا نبي الله، السلام عليك يا ابن المؤمنين سيد الوصيين، السلام عليك يا فاطمة الزهراء سيدة النساء العالمين، السلام عليك يا خديجة الكبرى أم المؤمنين، السلام عليك يا حسن المجتبى والإمام الهدى، السلام عليك يا أبا عبد الله الحسين وعلى 9 المعصومين من ذرية الحسين، السلام عليك يا صاحب العصر والزمان، الأمان 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 من فتنة الزمان، السلام عليك يا شريك القرآن، السلام عليك يا إمامنا وإنس والجان، أجل الله تعالى فرجك وسهل الله تعالى مخرجك وظهورك ورحمة الله وبركاته.